If you run a B&B and want to stand out in a crowded market, then the next 2 episodes are for you. You've created a lovely place to stay, but if bookings are slow or the right guests aren't finding you, it can be disheartening. We work with lots of small businesses, including B&Bs, and we know a few simple marketing tweaks can make a big difference. Today we're sharing 10 practical tips and ideas on how to get found, get booked, and keep guests coming back. You don't need a big budget, just clarity, consistency and confidence in what makes your B&B special. But in this episode, we're going to cover the first 5, and then in part 2, we will cover the second 5. So let's dive in. My name is Maggie Taylor, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the awesome Mr. Mark Valance.
Wow.
Hi, Mark.
What an intro.
Thanks.
So what are we doing today then?
Today, we are talking about 10 marketing ideas to boost your B&B's bookings.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of B's.
This sounds like your area of expertise.
It is my area of expertise.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we're going to be talking about 10 ideas, marketing ideas to
ideas
boost your B&B bookings
boost your B&B bookings.
and attract the right guests.
So when did you last stay in a B&B that wasn't in Torquay, if you've never stayed in a B&B that was in Torquay?
I've never stayed in a B&B that's in Torquay.
No.
Um,
Okay. So when was your last stay in a B&B or a guest house or somewhere that wasn't a big hotel?
Oh, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Was that when you were in the Lake District?
The Lake District, yes. I
Very
was
glad.
I was there in the Lake District.
Okay.
And yes, we stayed in it was classed as a guest house,
Oh, okay.
which in all honesty, I don't quite see the difference.
There is a difference between a guest house and a B&B.
Oh, is there? What's that?
A B&B literally only offers B&B.
As
in bed and breakfast. And
Okay.
a guest house, I believe, can have more amenities. Is that right?
Well, they did offer evening meal
meals.
if you wanted one. And yeah,
I
other
think
than
a
that.
guest house is more that they open up the house so you could
Yeah.
sit in like a
That's-
library
yes.
section.
Oh, that must be what it
or-
was. Yes, because you could sit in the lounge.
Yeah.
They had a very nice lounge there with a fire and a TV, although the TV was just a picture with a light behind it. It wasn't a real TV. It was like a TV picture frame.
Kind of sounded like they weren't perhaps
Yeah,
catering to the
yeah.
needs. Did you
No,
miss,
we had a
did you
TV
miss Strictly
we had
that week?
We had a we had a TV in the room, so yeah, it wasn't all bad.
Okay.
But yes, they opened up the lounge,
The lounge
or the
area,
front
yeah.
room, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And there was also an area outside which you could sit down by the stream in the background.
Oh,
It was too
lovely.
cold for that though, so we
Yeah.
didn't make the most of that.
So anything that stood out for you in your stay? Anything you felt they could have done differently, or anything that you felt they did really well?
The thing which I thought was quite good, you didn't have to see the owner at all.
Oh, okay.
He sent us a code to get into the door, and as soon as you went in, you had a little piece of paper with your name and details on there, the information and everything you needed. He'd already sent through the details of your room code
Okay.
and stuff. So
That's
that was all
interesting
fun.
that you saw that as a benefit, that you didn't have to interact with the
Well, yeah,
Yeah?
Well, because we had a long drive,
Yeah, I suppose.
and not being funny, I like speaking to people,
Yeah, of
of
course.
course. But the last thing I wanted to speak and have polite chit chat with was someone as soon as we arrived, especially as we'd been driving for a number of hours. We just
Yeah.
wanted to get to the room, put the bags down, and have a nap.
That's showing your age.
Yes, yeah, but yeah. Other than that, no, it was all very good. It was just contactless.
Yeah.
Entrance,
I think a
basically.
lot of people, when they go to B&Bs, they kind of like that element of meeting the owner. And,
Oh, yeah, we did meet the
feeling
owner.
Like you're personally being welcomed. But
Yeah.
you did meet them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We
as
met
sort of-
him for breakfast,
Yeah.
obviously, and that point it was fine. But
Yeah.
but no, it felt really quite automatic.
Oh, okay.
And,
Quite a smooth process then.
Very
you
smooth
felt.
process,
Yeah.
yes. And no confusion. We knew exactly what to do, where to go, how to get in, all that kind of stuff. And it just worked like a nice, well-oiled machine.
Lovely.
I was pleased, yes.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad you had a lovely stay.
Thank you. What about you? Where have you been recently? Where you've stayed in a B&B
Stayed
or
in
a guest home?
B&B is probably quite a long time ago. I'm trying to think. We stayed in a B&B when we went to Cambridge. But the less said about that B&B, probably the better, because I would say they were doing everything wrong. In that when you arrived, they weren't there. So there was no
Okay.
way to get into the thing. There was nowhere to park.
Oh, they really didn't want
They
you to
gave
stay.
no instructions on where to park.
Right.
And anybody that knows Cambridge quite well there's literally, it's like a pedestrian only zone for most of it.
Okay.
So Yeah, that was interesting. And then the guy was quite shirty and a little bit abrupt, like we'd interrupted him by...
You sure you went to a guest house or B&B and not someone's
No, it
actual
was,
home?
but it was actually quite dirty.
Right.
And I always thought Cambridge was quite posh.
It is, right.
We were only there for one night. Yeah, and then we literally went, we are not staying there again, and we drove all the way back.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Did you ask for a refund?
No, I didn't, but shortly after that, my bank card got cloned. And and then I lost loads of money at my account, and
you reckon it was them?
I reckon it was that place.
Wow.
I did that.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so yeah.
So we'll leave the link to their website in the show notes.
Yeah, I doubt they're still operating as a B&B, if I'm honest, if the fella is not in prison.
So, as you know, it's not just about filling the rooms. You basically want to create a nice atmosphere and a nice experience for your guests to make sure they keep coming back year after year, ideal.
Absolutely.
And also as well to tell their friends about your stay, because that's really important for people. So.
When we went to Torquay, we stayed at the XXX.
Exactly.
And it was bloody lovely. Best breakfast I've ever had.
Being the marketing expert that you are, Maggie,
Yep.
You've got these tips for
10
us.
marketing ideas to boost your B&B's bookings.
Okay, so should we crack on and
Yeah,
go
crack
through
on.
them one at a time?
Absolutely.
I'll ask you some questions and quiz you on them, because that'll be fun. So,
All right.
Okay, top tip number one.
Number one.
You've got here, talk about your guests, not about what you offer.
Correct.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so rather than listing all the services and things that your guest house or your B&B has, such as you have a kettle in every room, tea and coffee making facilities, colour TV. Can you believe places still say, oh, we have a colour TV? Like black and white TVs are an option as well.
Yeah.
You know, we have 12 rooms, 3 of them are doubles, 3 of them are king size and stuff like that. I don't mean like list all of those things. I mean talk about the guests. So what do the guests get out of you having tea and coffee making facilities and things? So does staying at your B&B or your guest house allow them to switch off and reconnect, explore, or relax? You know, are you close by a busy train station? Are you an easy commute into London? Or do you offer an early check-in for people who are perhaps finishing work early, etc.? Or is a super early breakfast an option? Those kind of things that are helpful to people, as in they are still things you offer, but they're more guest-orientated.
Okay.
So you might be a child-friendly B&B, might be a pet-friendly B&B. So what extra facilities can you offer to make your guests' lives easier? Some places say they'll put a cot in your room if you're travelling with a baby and things, which is nice, but maybe word that a little bit differently to say explain how it'll all be set up for you on your arrival. Okay. Just anything that helps make somebody's life easier, especially if you're travelling with a baby.
So they're kind of like features, but you're trying to focus more on the benefits.
Yeah. So if somebody's weighing up to stay in 2 different B&Bs, and one says cots available, the other might say a family room with a cot set up ready to help you take the weight of your travel off your shoulders, and
just trying to make it as easy as possible for them to imagine arriving and it's all done.
Yeah, it's all taken care of for you. Yeah, so crafting your message just around what guests want from their stay with you, rather than just saying we have cots available, or just we're pet friendly. Perhaps
it's good to obviously have a list of things, but if it just sounds like a list, it's not very personal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places that they're dog friendly. But maybe there's extra things. You've got extra large grounds where dogs can run around and things like that. So
paint the picture.
Yeah, it's just painting just elaborating a little bit more on what you offer.
Okay.
So your guests don't just want a room; they want to feel something. So they want to be able to think, feel how they're going to feel when they arrive. Are they going to be relaxed, or is it going to be crazy? Or people want to envision what it's going to be like when they arrive.
Right.
So make sure your marketing taps into the emotion of a person stay with you.
Yeah.
So if you are dog friendly, child friendly, it's just, and that can be a bit fractious, can't it? Travelling with a baby.
Fractious?
Fractious. Is that the right word? I don't know.
I've never heard of that word in my life.
Fractious, perhaps.
Fractious? I've never heard of that one either.
Yeah, it can. Well, it's a posh word for stressful, I suppose. It can be a little bit like,
wow.
I don't want to be travelling with babies. Things you can't avoid because you can't leave them at home.
No. You'd like to.
Maybe that's why people need to stay in a B&B because,
Yeah. Apparently you have a Maggie's super tip.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, this is like a bonus tip, I suppose, this
Okay.
one. So we're going through the 10 marketing tips anyway. So this one is like a bonus.
Okay.
Or bonus tip.
Wow.
So use phrases your guests will actually say in reviews. So build those into your website and your marketing.
Have you got an example?
So if somebody would say, it's a lovely place to stay with a lovely outdoor seating area to relax by the stream.
Okay.
Then you say you have a lovely outdoor area where guests can relax by the stream with an open book, a chilled bottle of wine upon arrival, and a box of doggy biscuits for your four-legged friend.
Sounds good. Where is this place? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So tip number 2.
Tip
ready
number
for tip
two?
number 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Tip
Okay.
number 2.
You've said make your brand reflect your style.
Yes.
Now, when you say your style, do you mean as in like your fashion sense?
No, I mean the style of the B&B, obviously.
Oh, of course. Yes.
So yeah, I'm going to open a can of worms here. If I
Right.
had sound effects of a can of worm opening, that would be
I
the
can
time
find
to
one.
include.
Oh no, wrong one.
But yeah, perhaps you have gone down the route of having a DIY logo made, or you've made one yourself, and you've chosen that logo because it's a nice design. But for example, it could be a very angular logo, it could be very sharp, very clean, maybe 2 different colours, and then that reflects or it sort of gives the opinion of what somebody is going to, their first impression somebody is going to have of your B&B when they walk in. So you could have like maybe a gold star, a
bit like the Rocker Business 5-pointed star.
Yes, and then maybe a navy blue background, so it looks quite high quality.
Yeah.
And then you could walk in and it's, you've got a bright pink wall on that side. You've got a zebra print wallpaper on that side.
That sounds really nice.
And yeah, so people are perhaps expecting a rather elegant stay in maybe a nice luxury getaway, and they're actually getting like a rave den or something.
Yeah. A rave den.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure that your brand or your logo is truly reflecting the style of your B&B or your guest house and
totally.
what you offer.
100%.
So yeah, are the colours saying the same thing that your decor is saying? Are you quirky, traditional, dog friendly, eco friendly, those kind of things? So just make sure that your brand reflects that.
Okay.
So your website, your logo, your colours, and even the welcome email that you send to people should all match the value of your B&B.
Also the wording as well, if you think about it.
Yeah, I think that might be tip number 3.
Is that tip number 3?
Oh
no, I've jumped ahead.
No, it's not actually.
Was it not really?
No.
Have we covered this at all? Is it worth just a quick mention?
Yeah, so I think the thing to mention would just be that people buy with their eyes. If your brand looks outdated, but your rooms are gorgeous, something's getting lost in translation. But you're right to mention website wording as well.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because you talk about sort of style and colours and imagery and all that kind of stuff, but not naturally your wording as well. If again you're trying to give a real high end image, but you're talking like you're speaking to 5-year-olds in a real kind of kiddish kind of way.
Tapped it out on your phone and you've got you, like the letter U. You will have a nice stay.
TBH, to be honest. That kind of stuff. Yes, I get what you mean. So, okay, so make sure your brand reflects your style. Your brand
reflects your style, yes.
Okay.
And Maggie's super tip on that one is to have a professional design a digital welcome pack that matches your brand. And
digital welcome pack.
That does sound
very high tech.
Yeah, and send it out in advance.
Okay.
So send it off to people so they can get excited about their stay with you. They can have a look about what to expect, what's on in the local area, keep it up to date, and just find out what's going on, I suppose, and what to expect upon arrival. Don't underestimate how much people need to know when they get to a B&B about which door to go through or which bell to press.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to end up in someone else's room. Okay, top tip number 3. Use an email for follow-ups and for the personal touches.
Yes.
Expand on that, Maggie.
Would you like me to expand on that one?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think if following up after a stay, after somebody's stayed in their guest house, in your guest house or in your B&B, and then offering returning guests discounts, maybe they've already stayed on a discount, so you just want to not say, we'll give you even more money off next time, but you could perhaps extend the same discount for the next booking as a gesture of goodwill and because you Really enjoyed them being there. Perhaps send a card for birthdays and anniversaries. So if somebody stayed with you because it was their anniversary or they were celebrating a birthday or something, then just a little note, maybe a short time before their next anniversary or their next birthday. It's nice just to send a little card.
We know a few B&B owners who do that, and it works really well for them. And when you have that sort of suggestion or idea to some other B&B owners, they look at you like it's the most amazing of ideas. It's such an obvious thing. And to be honest, there are a lot of obvious things you can do exactly just like that.
Imagine how nice it would be just to get a card through the post.
Yeah.
And you think,
totally.
Who's this from? And it's like, crikey, it's that B&B we stayed with last year.
Yeah.
That's really sweet of them.
Let's not go there again. Just messing.
No. I think it just makes it feel like you're more than just a booking to them. They actually still thinking of you after a year that you've stayed with them. When it's so nice. People don't remember what you say or what you did necessarily, but people will remember how you make them feel.
That's correct. And also as well, another way to look at it is that email could generate a sale.
Yeah.
Just like that for a fraction of a cost.
Yeah.
Compared to obviously advertising, marketing material and stuff like that. So it's a quick and easy way to appeal to your previous customers and clients for very little outlay.
And I think also if you don't already have like a monthly or a bi-weekly sort of newsletter that goes out, although don't call it a newsletter because nobody reads a newsletter.
What would you call it?
Well, it's something around the name of your B&B.
A letter of news.
That sounds even worse.
No, it doesn't. If you are to send a newsletter, shouldn't say that, not newsletter, whatever we want to call it. Other than
it's
a
still
newsletter.
news. Maybe if you were a Torquay-based B&B, you could say news from
the ocean. No, not the ocean.
Bob's B&B in Torquay or something like that. You know, it's just a little touch point. You do want to keep your name in there.
Yeah, okay.
Because then people know where it's come from. Your sender ID will tell people where it's come from, so you don't need to necessarily do that. But yeah, keep people up to date on what's going on in the local area, why they should return to your area of B&B.
Yeah. And how often would you say that you should send a newsletter?
It probably depends on the size of your B&B. So massive, huge places like Premier Inn, Travelodge, Express, Holiday Inn, Express, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Those kind of places probably send multiple emails a day to the same person because there's so many of them around the UK and you always want to be front of mind.
They've got a lot of beds to fill.
They've got a lot of beds to fill, yeah. So I would say maybe once every 2 weeks is more than enough. Once a month would be. Obviously,
hotels and B&Bs are usually seasonal, in seasonal locations. So if maybe just after Christmas, everyone's in that I want to go on holiday mood. Yep. So naturally, I suppose you can put more emails out, newsletters or e-shots, as they sometimes call them, to people to attract the people who are in that mood and that mindset of, I just need to get away. Christmas was a nightmare. Let's just book a holiday quick. Yeah. So if you can get in there, that's usually a good time. There's also times when places are really quiet and they might be looking ahead for the next week or two. They're thinking, oh, cripes, this time last year we was full and there's no one here. So it's a good opportunity to find something that's going on locally maybe.
The time we're doing this podcast, it's coming up to Easter. Is it half term or full term? It's coming up to Easter anyway. So I imagine a lot of people are going to be looking for last minute getaway breaks around Devon particularly. So if you haven't got a special offer on, then wing one out quick.
Yeah, because it could be all you need just to fill those beds for the weekend.
Those last few spots. Yeah.
Okay.
So Maggie's super tip on email marketing is to create a moments calendar. So note your guests' birthdays, anniversaries, or even just the weekend that they stayed, and then automate a little email or card to arrive a year later, inviting them back with a little personal message.
Sounds a good idea. I imagine a lot of these booking platforms have something like that. Maybe they can.
I don't know. Actually,
a little box to check to say, okay, we've taken their date of birth, which I imagine that's one of the requirements nowadays, isn't it?
Did you have to do that when you stayed at?
I didn't book it.
Oh, okay.
No, it was all the wife's work.
I see.
Yeah, it was our anniversary, but.
Well, there you go. So you see, if it was your anniversary and you got invited back next year, you might not necessarily want to go back to that particular place.
No,
You'd want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd like it. Yeah.
But if you got that little message, might be that. Even if it just evokes a nice memory that you shared, you shared again.
Yeah. Or if they're chasing up a review, which they never got at the time, Just as a gentle reminder a year later to leave a Google review first, please. Okay, so the next one you've got here, tip number 4. Focus on SEO.
SEO.
Now, a lot of people are thinking, what on earth is SEO?
What is SEO?
Explain.
So SEO is search engine optimization, which means basically where you are found on Google or Bing or whatever search engine people are using is when they're searching for a particular term, for example, places to stay in Devon or places to stay in Torquay, because that's where we're from. So I'll use Torquay as a reference.
Yep.
Then that search term is, what is that? It's a search term. So where your website ranks when people use that search term is determined by search engine optimization. So, and that is done on your website, in the background of your website.
Yep.
Quite simply explained is how many times you say, I am a B&B in Torquay on your website. If people are searching for B&Bs in Torquay, then Google will count the amount of times, this is a very basic explanation, and count the amount of times that that's mentioned on your website and then rank you determinably by how it thinks somebody's looking for. Does that make sense?
Okay, so now we know what SEO is for the people out there. Give us an example. Yeah.
So by that I mean, don't just try and rank for like B&B Devon.
Yep.
So you have to get a bit more specific.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's far too broad a term. I can imagine that you'd get thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
And still be no better off.
Anybody that types B&B Devon into a search engine is going to get places like Visit Devon or the English Riviera website, or, you know, like these bigger directory type sites.
Yep.
Maybe even booking.com and stuff like that, which is fine if you're just having a casual browse. But if somebody's actually specifically got more of an intent, a search intent, so they're looking for maybe a dog-friendly B&B in Totnes, if their intent is more specific, they're more likely to be closer to booking.
Okay.
So if you can say within your writing on your website that you are a dog-friendly B&B in Totnes, or you offer B&Bs with walking trails close by in Dartmoor, then that's going to
far better search term.
More specific for somebody who's looking.
Just briefly then on that kind of idea, then think of your B&B, your guest house,
and what makes it specific for
some of your features and benefits that you do offer other than anyone else. You naturally want to really raise those to the top and see those as your USPs.
So if you're a B&B close to Dartmoor, then people would think about what people are coming to the area for.
To actually do.
Yeah. Are they coming to go hiking? Okay. But you want to be found by people who are looking for exactly what you offer.
Yeah. And also as well, I suppose, if your B&B guest house or whatever you happen to have has got things like an amazing view of such and such waterfall, or so close to the XYZ train line or whatever. If you're a train spotter, for example, not that I am, but if you was, there are also as well things to put in there as well. So put yourself into the position of your customers,
but make it about what the guests are looking for.
Yeah, exactly. What they're looking for, and then if you offer that, then great. That's good. Good opportunity. Okay, so let's have one of your Maggie's top tips on that, please. A super tip, please.
So Maggie's super tip, for SEO is to add specific experience-based keywords on your website.
Right.
So say things like cozy, dog-friendly B&B near Dartmoor, rather than just dog-friendly B&B.
Yeah.
Or just B&B Devon. So keep it really super specific. So maybe a child-free escape with sea views in Paynton. So child-free escape with sea views in Paynton. So think search intent, not just location.
Right. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so tip number 5. We have got create an FAQ page.
Do I need to explain what FAQ stands for?
I know what an FAQ page, but there's probably at least someone out there who's sitting there thinking, what's an FAQ page?
FAQ.
So just humour them.
Your frequently asked questions. So it might seem like a bit of an archaic term to say FAQs, but I think you can call it your questions answered or something like that. But it's just a super simple way of reducing any booking friction. So covering things like parking, check-in times, if you offer a gluten-free breakfast, what the options are for breakfast, Wi-Fi codes and things like that. So anything that just makes things a little bit easier for people to come and stay with you. All of those questions that could be the difference between somebody booking with you and somebody booking with another B&B that does answer those questions as well.
FAQ, like you sort of said, is quite an old terminology, you could say. It probably wasn't used to the max back in the day, but nowadays people do a lot of their own research far more in advance than they used to. And it's not just for B&Bs, it's for any business really. If you can answer those kind of questions, and you might have some really weird ones, which if you hear them, obviously add it to your FAQ list, because obviously it's a concern or a question for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And not only does it help with the search engine optimization, so it's good for Google. Google will reward you for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just means that if, for example, the price of your place where you're staying is a little bit more expensive than the one next door, that's a great place to put a little bit of additional information in there, which might make people think, okay, I can understand why they're slightly more expensive. And you've kind of taken the worry or the concern away for them before they've even decided to go ahead and book or even give you a call. You've eliminated
it
that.
could be something like your B&B offers free parking. You have free on-site parking. But the B&B next door perhaps doesn't have a car park and they have to pay at the 24-hour car park. So effectively, they could be a few quid cheaper per night, but they could have a £15 car parking charge to pay each day that they stay with you.
Just as an idea, you could use it to your advantage. And yes, if parking is really difficult in the area, they are the only ones with a car park, you could word it. We do offer free parking. Parking is very, very difficult around the area and quite expensive. But if you book with us, you will get free parking. So turn it around and turn it into a bit of a selling point.
You're not poo-pooing the competition directly.
No, exactly.
You're just highlighting the benefits of your B&B over the others.
And I must admit, wherever we go on holiday, parking is a big factor. And if someone says, on-street parking or parking down the road, it's a bit of a turn-off, I must admit. So if you have got parking, definitely make a bigger thing of that, for sure.
Yeah. Maggie's super tip for the FAQs.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Would be to record a short, friendly video of you answering your top 3 questions and pop it on your FAQs page. Okay. So not only does it give an introduction to you and who you are, it builds trust and puts a warm, friendly human face to your B&B.
Okay. That is good.
And everybody now, there's no excuse for not putting videos on things.
No.
And everybody's got their own little camcorder in their pocket. It doesn't need to be...
Don't be afraid to use it.
Super glam. You're going to meet the people face to face when they turn up at your front door. So don't be afraid to record a video.
No, that's a great one. I like it. Good. Okay, so that's the first 5.
That's the first 5 done. Tick.
Yeah. Great. So that's 5 top tips.
Part 1.
Part 1. Yeah.
We have done 5 of your 10 marketing ideas to boost your B&B. So join us in the next podcast, which will follow this one, for part 2 and another 5.
I cannot wait, Maggie.
I cannot wait. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'd love it if you could subscribe, follow to make sure you never miss an episode. And why not join us over in the Rocket Business community or on Facebook, where business owners like you can connect, ask questions and get real practical advice to help you move forward. Check out rocketbusiness.com, where you'll find the Rockstar program packed with resources to help you grow and scale your business. Plus there's heaps of free tools and guides, as well as details on how to join our free online community of like-minded entrepreneurs. Until next time, keep rocking your business.